Welcome back to Alpha Bowhunting. I'm Phil Mendoza. When it comes to excelling at archery or becoming a more proficient bow hunter, the number one key ingredient is confidence. In this video, I've got 3 tips to help you build your confidence with your bow in your hand. Okay, number 1 tip to help you build your confidence level when you have your bow in your hand. And it all starts with your very first few arrows out of your bow in any practice situation. Many bow hunters want to step out or throw a target out at their maximum effective distance and launch that first arrow out and make sure it hits in the vitals. Well, unless you're practicing properly or building confidence to be able to extend that distance further, it all starts with the first few arrows you shoot, and it's not at maximum distance. The first few things you should be doing as a bow hunter, especially when you're wanting to extend your range or develop more confidence to enable to extend your range, is to warm up properly, and that starts with high percentage, high confidence shots. The first 5 shots out of your bow, you shouldn't even be aiming, in my opinion. You should be drawing your bow back, working on your form, alignment, and executing that trigger without any added anxiety or pressure of aiming. 3 to 5 yards, let those first 5 or so shots go off and make sure that everything is in line and proper. This is a good time also to make sure that nothing's come loose on your bow and that everything is like it should be. The next 5 or 10 shots, in my opinion, should be at 10, maybe 15, no more than 20 yards. And again, high percentage shots where you're building confidence and working yourself back into those further distances, because if you're someone that has a lot of anxiety issues and your first arrow is a high pressure, high risk, high reward type shot that you're wanting to achieve, sometimes having more shots before that, building your confidence up, knowing that I'm going to work myself out to 70, 80, or 100 yards. So I know that when it comes time to that 60-yard shot that I want to be proficient at in the hunting field, it's proven that I can do that at 80 or 100 regularly. So your confidence level is high when it comes down to that time you really want to test yourself for that one shot, one kill. Tip number 2, we're going to talk about what you're aiming at when you're actually shooting downrange, whether it be sighting in or normal everyday practice. In my opinion, if you're like me, I like to pick just a solid color spot, whether it's like an orange dot like this or a little blue piece of masking tape. I really like blue because when I'm using a multi-pin setup, I don't have any blue fibers in there, so I can see the contrast. I can see when I'm on the spot or when I'm not on the spot with that style of target that I'm aiming at. Again, if you're shooting at something like this, sometimes your pin configuration, if you have a yellow pin, for example, and you're shooting at a multicolor target like this at a certain distance, you might lose your pin. You have to almost come off the center to just reassure yourself that you're in the center. So simplicity is good, in my opinion, in this category. If you like this, shoot at this. If you're somebody that really likes to just shoot at an animal target, the vitals of an animal, picking out that spot behind the shoulder and holding your pin there, do that. Do what eases your mind in that aiming process, and it will equate out to better results. Okay, number 3, if you're having one of those days, we've all had these days where you get out to the range, whether it's indoor, outdoor, 3D, whatever you're doing, and your shots just aren't breaking right. Your group size is way bigger than it should be. Something's not right. Maybe you have a mental disconnect. You've had a bad day at work. Some people will tell you, put your bow away and leave. I really say that's one option. Some people say you can do more damage than you could do good by practicing that day. But instead, consider this. Move yourself back up to 5 or 10 yards, start blank bailing, close your eyes, work on just the feel part of your shot. Try to re-engage yourself into keeping your posture good, keeping yourself aligned, pulling hard into a shot. Do the things, get back to the basics at that point. Like I said, take out one of those elements that sometimes, again, the anxiety is something that I really talk about within my book and in some of the other videos, and when I'm coaching, eliminate that sometimes. Go back to the basics, just work on just truly shooting and feeling the shot, each shot, and I promise you, you're going to get more out of it that time. Those situations when you feel like you're disconnected or you shouldn't be there. So that's all I've got on these 3 tips. I hope you enjoyed them. We're going to give you some more videos with simple tips that are somewhat philosophy based, not necessarily technically based, mixing in with some of the gear reviews that we've got coming forward. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you do, share it with your friends, and we'll check you out on the next video.